Welcome back to Sugarbee, where we dive deep into the heart of the stories we love. And today, we return to Fraser's Ridge, but not the ridge we remember. Because in Outlander Season 8, love is not the safe harbor it once was. This is a season of secrets, of time shifting and destiny calling, where even a love as strong as Jamie and Claire's begins to tremble under the pressure of fate. The past is no longer behind them, the future is no longer ahead, both are closing in. And the question every fan must face is this: can love survive when time itself demands a price? Let's begin. Fraser's Ridge once felt like a sanctuary, a place carved out of hardship, watered with sweat and hope, and eventually returned to peace. The land had a heartbeat of its own. It moved with the seasons. Seeds pressed into warm earth in spring, wheat bending golden in the sun by late summer, laughter rising like birdsong, children weaving between the pines with bare feet, scraped knees, and joy that echoed off the hills. It was a place that knew them, held them, sheltered them. But now, something has shifted. Claire notices it first, not in anything loud or sudden, but in the quiet, the kind that settles too deeply, sinking into the bones. At dawn, when fog slips low across the fields and moves like a tide through the trees, she feels something stir. It's subtle, a change in the cadence of the wind, a pause in the world that shouldn't be there. Something is listening, something is waiting. Time itself feels stretched thin, like a thread pulled too tight. Claire has known this sensation before. The stones, the humming, the unseen forces that connect one century to another like invisible bridges. But this time, it isn't calling her name, it is simply present. Watching, hovering like a held breath. Jamie feels it too. He stands on the porch in the mornings, shoulders squared against a horizon that looks familiar yet somehow different. He watches the ridgeline with the eyes of a man who has learned not to trust peace. His hand sometimes drifts to the hilt of his knife, not out of fear, but instinct, memory. Everything between him and Claire is still warm, still fierce. Their love is not fading, but it has grown heavier, like a promise spoken again and again, until it becomes a prayer. Every touch feels like a memory already forming. Every kiss carries the weight of something known, but unspoken. There is a shadow behind the tenderness now, not doubt, just the awareness that time has never been gentle to them. Rumors ride on the wind. War, rebellion, the kindling of anger, spreading through towns and taverns, through farmhouses and whispered conversations. Young men talk of flags, of loyalty, of honor, words that have broken countless lives in every age. And Claire, who has seen revolutions, who has walked through blood and fire, feels history rising again. She hears echoes of battles she already knows, the crack of muskets, the cries of the wounded, the collapse of nations. But this time, it is different, because this is not a century she plans to leave behind. This is her home, her family, her heart. The soil beneath her feet no longer feels foreign, the air no longer feels borrowed. She is not a visitor anymore. She belongs here, to these hills, to this life, to this man. Yet time, restless, merciless, ever hungry, has started circling again. Not to take her away, but to test what she is willing to lose, to stay. It begins softly. So softly Claire almost convinces herself she imagined it. A flicker of blue light in the trees, not bright, not loud, just a shimmer, like moonlight catching on still water. But there is no water there. Only air, only silence, only time. Claire's heart stops for a beat, because she knows this light, knows its pull, knows its hunger. The stones are waking again. But something is different. This glow doesn't reach for her. It doesn't hum with the familiar tug against her ribs, that strange, irresistible pull that once tore her from her world and placed her in this century. No, this light stands still, waiting, listening, as if it is calling someone else, someone she may not be ready to lose. That night, Claire dreams of the standing stones. They rise, tall and ancient, under a sky washed silver by the moon. The air around them vibrates with energy, pulsing like a heartbeat. She walks closer, barefoot, the ground warm beneath her feet. She can hear voices in the hum, not of strangers, but of family: Brianna, Roger, Mandy, Jem. Their laughter, their cries, their lives echo across time. Like a memory she cannot touch. She reaches for them, but before her fingers meet the stone's surface, the dream breaks. She wakes with tears on her cheeks, not sobbing, just quiet tears, the kind that slip out of the soul rather than the eyes. Jamie is already awake beside her. He doesn't ask what she dreamed. He never has to. He simply reaches for her hand. His fingers wrap around hers gently, steady, warm. Claire feels the comfort of him, the strength of him. He has always been her anchor to this world. She wonders if he knows she is gripping his hand like it is the only thing keeping her here. Because maybe it is. The next day, Claire tries to move through her work as she always does. Grinding herbs, checking fevers, teaching young mothers how to soothe colic. Her hands move with practiced ease, but her mind drifts to the shimmer in the trees, to the dream of voices, to the possibility of loss. Because the stones do not wake without purpose. They do not call without cost. Jamie watches her, though he says nothing. He sees the way she lingers near windows, how she pauses at doorways, how her gaze keeps returning to the woods as though afraid. The trees will take something from her while she isn't looking. Claire has survived war, death, grief, and time itself. But this is a different fear. Because the past and the future are no longer separate things. They are pressing inward, merging, folding over her life like hands closing around something precious. She is not afraid of the stones calling. She is afraid of who they may take. And the most terrifying truth of all is one she cannot speak aloud. This time, love alone may not be enough to stop it. Young Ian returns to Fraser's Ridge just as the sun sinks behind the trees, its last light catching on the feathers braided into his hair. His horse is tired, his clothes are dusted from long roads, but it is his eyes, those sharp, perceptive eyes that tell Claire and Jamie something is wrong long before he speaks. He dismounts slowly, almost cautiously, as if the weight of what he carries has followed him all the way home. Claire is the first to greet him. She offers a smile, soft and welcoming, but Ian doesn't return it. His expression is unsettled, watchful. He glances over his shoulder as if the woods themselves might be listening. Someone's come. He finally says, Jamie. His hand finds the hilt of his knife, not from fear, but instinct, a traveler. Ian continues. Claire freezes. Not a visitor, not a neighbor, a traveler. A word that means something very specific to them, something that most of the world will never understand. Ian nods as if confirming the thought they haven't spoken. They came through the stones, he says quietly, and they asked for you. Claire's breath stops in her chest. Not asked for Jamie. Not asked for help. Asked for her. Ian leads them to the traveler 2 days later, young woman, perhaps no older than Brianna. She stands by a riverbank, her cloak damp, her boots caked with mud. Her hair tangled like she's crossed storms and centuries. Her eyes lock on to Claire the moment she appears, widening with recognition not of the face Claire has now but of a story she has heard before. You're Claire Fraser, the woman says, the healer who changed history. Claire's heart slams against her ribs. The traveler isn't from Claire's past, and she isn't from Claire's original time either. She is from the future. A future beyond Claire's knowledge, beyond Brianna's, beyond anything Claire has ever imagined. Cities of glass glint under artificial suns. Wars fought with machines instead of muskets. People living so fast they forget to feel. History rewritten until memories become myths. And in that world, Claire Fraser is a legend. The things you choose here, the traveler says, voice trembling, they don't just change this century, they shape what comes after. Your choices ripple outward into lives you will never see, into worlds you will never walk. She delivers one final message, one that does not come from her, but from someone else. Someone who knew Claire, someone who understood time. The future isn't fixed, but it is fragile, and something is unraveling. Claire feels the earth tilt beneath her feet. Jamie steps closer, ever her anchor, though his face is drawn, troubled. He has fought battles of steel and blood, but this battle is made of something he cannot strike at or shield against. Time itself is moving, and if time can send warnings, then time can demand payment. The question is no longer what is coming, it is who. And whether Claire can bear the cost. Life on the ridge moves on, even when fear curls itself beneath the floorboards. The sun still rises over the trees. The river still glitters like a silver thread weaving through the valley. The animals still need tending, bread still needs kneading, and children still chase each other through fields of early summer green. But there is a tension in the air, thin and invisible, like the drawn string of a bow waiting for release. Claire keeps her hands busy. She teaches first aid to the local women, mixes herbs in her small wooden bowls, stitches wounds, and checks fevers. Her voice is steady, her touch sure, yet anyone watching closely would notice the stillness in her gaze, the way she sometimes pauses caught by a thought that chills her from the inside out. She has always known that time is not a river that flows only forward, but now it feels more like an ocean storm, capable of dragging entire worlds under without warning. She watches Jamie more now, the lines around his eyes, deepened by worry and laughter both, the strength in his shoulders that has always felt like home, the way he moves through a room, quiet yet certain. Every time he takes her hand, she feels something like grief and gratitude blooming together in her chest. Jamie feels it too. But Jamie has always been a man of the present moment. He lives in each breath, each step, each heartbeat. Perhaps it is a Highlander's instinct. Or perhaps it is simply the only way he has survived a life carved by war, loss, and loyalty. Still, even he feels the clock ticking somewhere behind them. When their fingers brush across the dinner table, they hold on a second longer. When they walk the ridge, they do not speak much, but their silence is full. At night, Claire sometimes wakes to find Jamie already awake beside her, watching the ceiling, as if listening for hoofbeats in the dark. When she touches his cheek, he turns to her with a softness that breaks something inside her every time. They make love like people who are trying to capture time and fold it inside their bodies. Keep it safe, hold it still. Their whispers are quiet, their breathing slow, as if the night itself might be listening. There is no pleading, no despair, only an endless love that has crossed centuries to find itself again and again. Beyond the ridge, the world is shifting. Men speak of independence, of rebellion, of blood that must be spilled to shape tomorrow. War is not a rumor anymore. It is marching closer each day, drums echoing beyond the horizon, and somewhere, in another century, another future, another version of history, something else is also stirring. A force that watches them, a force that remembers Claire. The ridge holds its breath. Time stands ready to move. It begins on a quiet evening, the kind of evening where the ridge seems to exhale. The sky is soft with twilight, purple fading to blue, fireflies rising like sparks from the grass. Claire and Jamie walk side by side. No words needed. Their shoulders almost touch, their steps in rhythm, the way they always have been. Then it happens. The blue light returns. But this time, it does not flicker through branches or blur at the edge of Claire's vision. It blooms, wide, bright, like a doorway made of moonlight and memory. A shape that hums with something electric and ancient, something alive. Claire stops. Jamie stops too. For a breath, they simply stare. Do they see it? Jamie's voice is low, rough, stripped of all armor. Claire does not answer at first. She doesn't need to. Her face tells him everything. The light pulses once, twice like a heartbeat. Jamie's hand tightens around hers, not out of fear, but something far deeper. Something like disbelief, something like knowledge, finally catching up to truth. All these years, Claire carried the burden of time alone. She spoke of it. He believed her, but belief and witnessing are not the same. Now, he sees. The future isn't just a story she brought with her, it is real, it is alive, it has come for her. The air tastes different, sharper, charged, like air just before lightning strikes. Claire feels her chest tighten, not with fear, but with the weight of understanding. The blue light is not a warning, not this time, it is a doorway, a choice, and choices are always prices. Jamie's thumb brushes her knuckles. Slow, steady. If this is meant to take the... His voice breaks for the first time she has heard in years, and he swallows, hard. I'll not chain the here. The Ken that... Claire turns to him then, really looks at him. The man who has loved her across time. The man she chose again and again. The man she would choose still, even if the world split in two. Jamie. Her voice trembles. If I stay, the world we're in now, the war, the danger, it could cost you. And if I go, her breath catches. I lose you. Jamie cups her face in his rough, warm hands. I was never yours to lose. I am yours. In every world, in every time. The blue light grows brighter, as if listening, as if waiting. Claire feels it in her bones. A pull, soft but undeniable, a thread connecting her to another life. Hospitals, cars, the sound of airplanes, Brianna's laughter, Roger's voice, the world she came from, the world that shaped her. Her heart splits, one life in each hand. There is no choice that does not break. Someone will be left behind. The wind stirs the grass. The ridge holds its breath, and the future waits for her answer. It happens in the quiet hour. The world outside is still, as if even the trees understand that something sacred is about to break. Claire sits at the table, her hands folded, her breath slow but uneven. She has held so much for so long. Knowledge of wars, knowledge of death, knowledge of the price of time itself. But this is the hardest truth she has ever carried. Jamie, she begins. Her voice isn't shaking. It isn't small. It's steady, honest, heavy. I saw what happens if I stay. The traveler told me. The warnings. The future will twist. The war. The ridge. The lives here. All of it. I will be the reason the suffering lasts longer. Jamie does not interrupt. He doesn't look away. His eyes stay fixed on her, fierce and soft in the same breath. Claire continues. If I live, if I return through the stones, I can stop that chain. It won't be undone completely, but it will change. It will matter. Silence stretches between them. Not cold, not angry, just full. Jamie reaches out and lifts her chin, guiding her eyes to his. His thumb brushes her cheek with a tenderness that feels ancient. You came back to me once, he says softly, across places I could not imagine. Across years I had no name for. You crossed time for me. Claire's chest tightens, tears burning behind her eyes. But she refuses to let them fall. Jamie's voice grows deeper, steadier. If the world calls you away again, I will find you. Again, in any time, in any life. It is not poetry. It is not hope, spoken to ease pain. It is truth. Claire's heart cracks open. Because she believes him, Jamie continues. Our love is not held by the year nor the land. It is a thing made of the soul, something beyond this world. If ye go, I will not stop living, and when my time comes, I will walk every road to find you. Claire's breath trembles. Finally, tears fall. Not because she is breaking, but because something inside her is being released. Their love does not cling. It does not cage. It lets go so it can return. They lean into each other, foreheads touching. No words left to say. Only breathing. Only knowing. Outside, the wind stirs. The ridge is listening. And destiny waits at the door. Their final night arrives without thunder. No great farewell feast. No speeches. No tears spilled publicly. Just the quiet acceptance that life is made of moments, not monuments. The sun sets, drawing warm gold across the fields. The fire flickers low in the cabin hearth. Claire sits curled against Jamie, her head resting on his shoulder. His arm wraps around her as if it has always belonged there. They speak not about fate or goodbye, but about the small things. The first apple tree they planted together. The sound of rain on the roof. The time Claire tried to teach Jamie how to bake and he flooded the kitchen with flour. The night they danced barefoot under lantern light. They talk softly, slowly, not to fill silence, but to honor it. Jamie laughs quietly at one memory, and Claire smiles against his chest. The warmth between them is so real it feels like time itself leans back to watch. No promises are spoken. They don't need to say, I'll find you, or wait for me, or don't forget. They have lived those promises already. Instead, they simply are. Two souls, sitting close, sharing breaths. As the fire settles to embers, Jamie lifts Claire's hand to his lips. He presses a kiss there, slow and reverent. Do you remember? Claire whispers. The first time I saw you. You looked at me as though they already knew me. Jamie replies. I think I did. Claire says, his voice is soft. Then ye will know me again. The night wraps around them like a blanket. Claire's eyes close. Jamie watches her sleep, memorizing her like a painter memorizes the sky. Not to hold on to her, but to carry her with him. Outside, the ridge rests in silence, not grieving, not fearing. Just witnessing love in its purest form. Loud, not desperate, steady, enduring, true. Morning rises pale and silver. Mist hangs over the ground, and the air hums faintly. Claire feels it the moment she wakes. The stones are calling. She dresses slowly. Jamie stands beside her, helping her fasten her cloak. Their hands move with practiced familiarity, gentle and unhurried. There is no panic, no rush, just presence. They walk together through the forest. The trees sway lightly, as if bowing. The portal glows ahead, blue and bright, like starlight made into a curtain. The stones sing. The sound is not loud. It is felt more than heard, a vibration of memory and possibility. Claire steps forward, but Jamie's hand remains in hers. She turns to him one last time. His face is calm, worn by time, marked by love, unshaken. He does not cry, he does not plead, he does not break, he only nods. The nod of a man who has walked through war, loss, and resurrection. A man who knows love does not end here. Claire squeezes his hand. I love you, she whispers. Jamie's voice is quiet, steady. I know, and I love you. In this life, in the next, and the next after that. Their fingers slip apart. Not torn, released. Claire steps into the light. The world around her stretches, folds, dissolves. Time is not a line now. It is a river. She is carried. Jamie stands alone in the clearing. The mist swirling around him. He breathes in. He does not collapse. He stands like a man rooted to earth and sky both. Love has not ended. It has only changed shape. The screen fades, and we are left with the question, is this goodbye, or is this the moment destiny begins its greatest reunion yet? Because love like theirs never ends. It only waits. So, my friends, this is where we find ourselves. Claire steps through the stones, the light swallowing her, and time folds like pages in a book being flipped by fate itself. Jamie remains on the ridge, his silhouette steady, unbroken, carved into history like a promise the universe must honor. And we are left with the question, is this truly goodbye? Or is this the moment the universe begins to bring them back together? Because, if Outlander has taught us anything, it's this. Love doesn't bow to time. It doesn't fade with distance. It doesn't vanish in silence. Jamie and Claire are not written like ordinary lovers. They are a constant, no matter the century, no matter the war, no matter the cost. And if destiny separated them now, destiny will bend, break, or burn to bring them together again. This ending is not closure. It is a promise that the greatest reunion is still ahead. So Outlander family, tell me in the comments, do you believe Jamie will find Claire again? And when he does, where will it be? Back at the stones, in the afterlife, or in a new century neither of them has seen before? Drop your theories below. You know I read all of them, and of course, this is Sugarbee, your home for the deepest, most emotional breakdowns of Outlander, 1923, and every story that dares to love as fiercely as we do. Make sure to like, subscribe, and tap the bell so you don't miss the next chapter. Because trust me, their story is far from over.